At this time, after splitting my students up into groups of 2, I will, walk around the room as an assessment tool to observe them and what they're doing and seeing, what students are having trouble, what students are doing great with this lesson. If it's a great assessment tool because it's kind of, an immediate assessment. If I notice that one group is having a harder time than the other, I can kind of just immediately go over, figure out what is this word you're having trouble with, what is this sound that you're having trouble making, and I could kind of just immediately sit there with them and go over the sounds multiple times in order to help them succeed within picking the correct answer. As an ELL student, there are multiple things that they can have trouble with in this lesson. There are multiple struggles. So there are some modifications that I would make for Gabriella. First, while pairing the students, I would discreetly pair Gabriella with a strong English-speaking student. This way, the student would be able to, help Gabriella if she was struggling without Gabriella even really knowing. Or if Gabriella needed help with something, the student would kind of be there to just help her and, help her decide the right answer, help her make the sounds if she can't remember how to make them. And it's kind of just, if Gabriella hears this student making these correct sounds, maybe she will be able to then copy the sound and remember, oh yeah, app, that is how it's said. So, that's one modification I would make. And also another modification that I would make for Gabriella is, I was gonna give each group 6 cards. So that's 3 cards each. Now, each of these cards would be used for different words. So maybe I would give Gabriella 2, or I would give Gabriella 1 card, and I would give the other student 3 cards. I wouldn't put more on the other student, but maybe just give Gabriella a little bit less. Not saying that, it's not good practice and it's, it's important to know these things, but at the same time, it really just doesn't, it's not gonna make Gabriella very, very overwhelmed. Like if she gets stuck on one word, if she gets stuck on pet and she's having a really hard time figuring it out, and after multiple trials, she does finally figure out the answer. I don't want her to have to struggle going through 2 more because she's really, really struggling with it. So if that is the case, I would, pull the 2 cards and just give her 1 card to do. Another modification I would make is, as you can see, these cards, they each have 3 options. So this is backwards in the camera, but this card is a hat. So this says hat. So we would go over cat, nap, net. So we would, figure out which word would rhyme. Sometimes 3 options is a lot for an ELL learner. Maybe 2 would be better. So I did make these modification cards for Gabriella. For example, this one says lip. So I kind of just covered, when I laminated them, I kind of just covered one of the options here. So only giving her 2 options to have to pick from. So maybe giving her the 3 cards, but only giving her cards with 2 options rather than 3, just to lessen her chance of getting overwhelmed and kind of building her confidence and, helping her be confident in that answer. Lip. Okay, so I know hat does not rhyme with lip, so it must be hip. It really helps, than having to pick out another answer in between that she might get stuck on, she might get confused, she might think that word might make sense. So, it's kind of helping her lessen her options to, just to not make her be as overwhelmed as she might be in this activity.